Pete, good to chat. We are chatting on the eve of the Munster game, a really important game in the context of the season. But in terms of the overall season, if you give us your state of the nation, how do you think things have been going on and off the fields in the last 9 months or so?
Look, I think we're on track. I'm hugely excited by the journey we're on, I suppose. I feel very much we're in the early stages of that. It's been a long season, and still with some really exciting weekends to come. And for me, I think we've made progress. I think we've made progress in terms of the game we're trying to play, in terms of the squad we're trying to build, in terms of the culture and the environment we're trying to create. But we're definitely not there yet. But we've had some difficult moments. 3 games that we've lost in the last play of the game, and obviously the disappointment that comes with that. But also, I suppose, the lessons and the fortitude that grows within that. So, look, we are on track. I'm very much enjoying working with the group, and there's lots more hard work to come.
And for you personally, how have you found leading the programme for the first time?
Look, it's been fantastic. It's been a real mix, to be honest. I've loved it. I've genuinely really tried to embrace the role and learn as the journey's gone on. And I think for me, you know what the job description is for a head coach, but until you're actually in the hot seat and problem solving week to week and managing all the different aspects, you don't really know what it's like. And I've loved getting to know the role. I've loved, I think, the improvement that I've been able to find within myself and within the job I'm doing. I know I'll be better for the experience next year, but I also know how important it is that we have success this year. So, still very grateful for the opportunity. It's been stressful at times, but that's part of the job. It's relentless, and that's why we do it, because we enjoy that and enjoy the challenge of it. We'll
get on to next season in a moment, but just a word on Munster this weekend and the 2 games to follow after. Obviously crucial in terms of the overall importance of the season.
Yeah, it is. It's a really crucial, 4 weeks coming up for us, I suppose, with those 3 games. Obviously, 2 bonus point wins against Zebre and the Dragons was crucial. We were targeting that, and it certainly wasn't out of disrespect for those 2 teams. It was because we knew we would need momentum going into this last block, and obviously Munster away, Stormers at home, Leinster away 2 weeks after that. Again, another fantastic set of challenges for us. But there's so much belief in the group at the moment. There's so much positive energy. And we can't wait for it. To be going away to Munster, it's always a ferocious battle anytime we play them. But to be going down there at this stage of the season with a huge amount on the line for us, we're looking to really cement that position in the top 8 of the URC. Munster are chasing a top 2 spot. And, both teams have got a huge amount of motivation alongside all of that local rivalry that comes with the territory. So, really exciting battle. It'll be tough, but we're really looking forward to it.
In terms of what next season looks like then, it's obviously this time of year where there's a lot of news about incomings and departing players. There'll be news on that as well. So talk to me a bit about the process, what that entails, when do those discussions start, who's involved with those discussions, all that kind of detail.
Yeah, it is. It's the nature of professional sport. Unfortunately, you have to say goodbye to a few players each season. The exciting side is you get to bring a few in. And, again, for me being in this role for the first time, to be really hands-on in that process. I'm well supported. Willie Ruan, obviously a CEO, has involvement in that in terms of the guidance from the overall club perspective. Tim Allnut, head of rugby operations, in terms of how we manage the depth chart and the dealings around that side of things, and then me having the rugby input, I suppose. So, it's neat in terms of the structure we have around that. I feel really well supported, and it's a fascinating part of the job to shape the squad from one season to the next. For us, we'll be running a slightly smaller squad next year, going from sort of 46, 47 total senior players to 42 or 43. And that's ideal for me, and there's a few different reasons for that. I suppose personally I'd rather work with a slightly smaller group. I think if you have too many bodies in the same positions, often players can block each other in terms of the opportunities to play meaningful minutes during the year. So I think you need enough bodies to provide cover, enough to provide some real competition for places, but not so much that there's too many guys sitting on the sideline and not getting match minutes. So around about that 42, 43 is about right for me from a rugby perspective. I think as well it's probably testament to the fact that our programme's working. It's the first year we've had that true integration with our academy squad, and there's been a lot of fantastic work done by Eric Elwood and obviously his staff and the staff below them in the pathway throughout Connacht. And we've been training with those academy players. We're seeing some of them graduate with real distinction. Obviously Hugh Gavin coming up to join the senior squad next season. Matthew Devine already, despite being still part of the academy, is starting games for us and playing terrifically well. and amongst others. So, you know, for us to be able to give those academy graduates opportunity and exposure, it's really important again that we don't block them with too many bodies ahead. So I like the balance of the squad. I think it's a really positive thing, and probably also offsets the fact that we ran with a few extra bodies being a World Cup year this season as well. So we're moving in the right direction, and you know, I'm looking forward to working with that new group next year.
So Pete, talk to me a bit more about the younger players. The fans are hugely excited about the potential coming through. We've seen what Matthew Devine has done. We've seen what Hugh Gavin's done at the International Under-20s. So you must be excited as everyone else.
Yeah, we really are. You know, Matthew, for example, he's been training with us full time with the senior squad since the start of pre-season, and you know, straight away we saw some of those qualities that we'd already seen on that international stage with the pathway rugby. But what this year's given him is a chance to I suppose, learn in the saddle at training and build some connections particularly with Jack Carty and JJ Hanrahan. And I think that 9 and 10 relationship is so important for a young halfback, and learning about managing the game, learning about managing the other players on the field. And he got his opportunity here at, you know, a fairly late stage of the season, but he seized it with both hands, and he's there on merit at this point. And in terms of Hugh Gavin, I think, you know, there's a player there who's obviously again come through our pathways, and he's probably been ready for senior rugby from a rugby attributes and a physical attributes point of view for a little while. But you know, we have some serious depth in that centre position, and you know, that's the nature of the job is we need to evolve some of those position groups to make way for these young players coming through. And Hugh stepping up to the senior squad next year, again, it's exciting for him, and you know, I think he'll get an opportunity early in the season, and no doubt play a key part as well. So we're very excited about this crop of players. I said credit to our pathway, and it's crucial in terms of you know, maintaining that identity of the club and rewarding the good work that happens in terms of that player development.
And in terms of the new faces we'll see here next year, 5 signings announced: Temi Lasisi, Adam McBurney, Ben Murphy, David O'Connor and Piers O'Connor. So tell us a bit about each of them and how you see them fitting into the overall setup next season.
Yeah, well, in terms of Temi, first of all, you know, he's a tremendous asset for us to have been able to recruit to the club. He was, you know, a seriously destructive loose head coming through the Irish and the Leinster pathways, and we've had our eye on him for a little bit of time. He's spent the last 12 months learning the ropes as a tight head as well, and I think that versatility is perfect. And you know, to have a young player with so much potential, but the chance to give him, I suppose, experience both sides of the scrum. You know, not only is it great for him and for us building a match day 23, but it enables us to have that bit of extra utility value within the squad, and carry the 7 senior props, and I suppose rebalance the squad elsewhere. So you know, that's excellent. Ben Murphy, you know, for a player of his young age, terrific experience already, both at the URC and the Champions Cup level, and I think the fact that you can see the minutes he's had in both those competitions this season shows that he's ready for senior rugby. He's someone who'll come here and certainly add depth to our group of scrum halves, but also seriously push them in terms of deserving opportunities. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes. Dave O'Connor, you know, he's got leadership, he's got experience in terms of the rugby he's played both at Ulster and over in Ealing. He's captained the team there in the Championship over in Ealing, and I think to bring that experience, that strength of character into our forward pack, again, it'll be a real boost for the group, and you know, he'll contribute in terms of probably 6 frontline locks that we'll run with next season in terms of the 5 that we've had this season. I think that depth is really important in terms of keeping that freshness and I suppose that intensity around our forward pack and how we want to play the game. Piers O'Connor, again, is a player we've admired from afar for some time now. And you know, he was crucial for Bristol's campaign over a number of years. Passed over 100 caps there in the Premiership. The ability to play 12, 13 wing and fullback. I think some of his best rugby has been at 13. But again, to have that utility value in the squad, to have that talent and that experience is a massive boost for us. And as I said, there's that need to evolve certain position groups, and a player with Pierce's experience but also with skill set gives us a chance to you know, really vary how we play our game, but also add another layer of excitement to it as well. So I think the fans and players will really enjoy getting to know Pierce in that space. For Adam McBurney, you know, we admired him greatly when he was at Ulster, and I've got a lot of respect for, I suppose, the risk he took moving over to the UK to play with Edinburgh. He's also had some experience with Gloucester recently. I think that strength of character to move out of your comfort zone to chase opportunities is something that says a lot about a person. And now to move back to Ireland and to come and join us, you know, again, he's a player that realises he'll have to earn his opportunities, but also terrifically excited to contribute to what we're trying to build here. He'll bring energy, physicality, good set piece. So there's 5 guys there that you know, again, add to the excitement of next season. You know, alongside you know, Mac Hansen. You know, we've not seen much of Mac this year, and obviously Santi Cordero as well. Josh Murphy returning from his medical sojourn for the last 12 months. They're almost 3 brand new signings in their own right. So, you know, I can't wait to start working with the boys again at the beginning of pre-season, and you know, I'm really looking forward to where the squad will go over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Josh. He's probably a player that some fans might have forgotten is coming back here next season, and like I said, another boost to have him back.
Yeah, it is, and Josh was here on Tuesday actually with us. He popped in and watched training and came in for some meetings with staff, and it was a good chance to check in with how he's going. He's been playing AIL rugby and you know, doing a great job there, keeping the rugby side of things ticking over. Obviously, you know, a lot of time and a lot of effort concentrated on his role as a young doctor, which I think he's enjoyed. But I can see the passion in him and how much he's missed, you know, rugby and all the elements of being around the club. So we were delighted to see him the other day, and we'll look forward to welcoming him back at the start of pre-season.
So Pete, as always this time of year, there will be players moving on as well. What can you tell us about that and that process?
Well, look, I think it's one of the hardest things of being in this head coach role is having to make decisions and contribute to decisions about the players that do leave at the end of a season. And as I said, it's the nature of professional sport in all realms. You know, for us, we'll be saying goodbye to players after the Stormers game. We'll make our final announcements during Stormers week, and that'll give the fans and the club chance to say a proper farewell to them on the pitch after the Stormers game here at Dexcom. You know, there's all sorts of different stories in there in terms of some of those players that will be leaving us, but they've all contributed massively to the club. And I think the nature of not just our team but our whole organisation is you tend to attract good people who come to Connacht for the right reasons and with really powerful, I suppose, a really powerful sense of purpose in terms of what they want to contribute to the club. And you know, the nature of that, there's very rarely a bad egg that you're pleased to get rid of, and it is tough. But as I said, it's the nature of sport. It's the nature that we've got to keep growing if we're going to keep improving. And as we said, we'll bid a fond farewell to those guys when the time comes, and obviously give them a lot of thanks as well. And
finally, Pete, we're standing here in the Clan stand, which will be no more in just a few weeks' time. We have that Stormers game next week, which is going to be hugely emotional and exciting for the fans. So you must be really looking forward to that and everything that will come with that day.
I am. It's a massive occasion, you know, for so many reasons. Obviously, the URC context we talked about earlier. Stormers, the team that we played away in a semi-final last year, you know, and obviously came away disappointed not to have got a win there. One of the top teams, you know, not just in South Africa but in the URC, and you know, to have that sort of marquee game, I suppose, to send off the Clan Terrace and to round off our regular season home games is enormous. He said it will be emotional. It'll be an emotional day for lots of people. Obviously the players leaving and us saying goodbye to them, for the fans for their last chance to stand here in the Clan, and for us as well to, you know, come to a home game and look around and you know, hear the fields of Athenry singing out from the Clan. You know, for me personally, my first experience of this stadium was standing in the little away coaches box in the middle of the Clan Terrace and stepping over the pints of Guinness on the wooden steps over there just to my right. And you know, it was part of what captured my imagination about the place and the sense of spirit, I suppose, about Connacht and the club and the wider province. So, you know, for all of us at different levels, it'll be a massive occasion. And you know, when the time comes, obviously we've got Munster first, but when the time comes to play the Stormers, you know, we'll make sure we deliver a performance that does that justice, and once the final whistle goes, we'll pay tribute, as I said, to the individuals that have been such a key part of the club, to the supporters that have been here throughout that time, and also to the Clan and to Dexcom as we know it itself.
Pete, as always, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Steve. Cheers.